All right, welcome back to episode 9 of Stocks and Four podcast, brought to you by 100 actually. So we're presented by Ride the Wave Media as always, but we are now brought to you by 100. This is basically the premise of this company is they give you a raffle experience that can get you very cheap tickets. All you got to do is just pay for a raffle ticket basically, and you can win awesome tickets to really any game. I think they do concerts once baseball season kind of takes over the sports world, and I'm sure they do lots of other stuff. I don't know why my camera just cut out, but we're gonna fix that. All right, we're going from the top. Welcome back to episode 9 of Stocks and Four podcast, brought to you by 100. Normally, ticket prices are insane. Dylan, I know you went to Yankee Stadium. We're going to touch on that later, but sure, those tickets weren't cheap. You could always get a cheaper ticket and a competitive experience, really, just to win a raffle. Everyone's won a raffle in their life, I'm sure. But how do you ever want a raffle to give you what people bought? I think it was $1.40 ticket. Ticket to enter the raffle, and they got $1,400 seats at Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. That was through 100. They do concerts, they do games, they do really anything that you can attend. Basically, 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, music festivals, and much more. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite event has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket into the draw, and you could be the lucky winner. These tickets are cheap. Like we said, I just said someone bought I think $1.40 ticket, and they just happened to win the raffle, and they got $1,400 valued seats, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. Go check out 100, their Instagram, all that stuff. They are sponsoring this podcast. Big thank you to them. As always, presented by Ride the Wave Media. Check us out at ridethewavemedia.com. Our Instagram at Ride the Wave Media. Doing a lot of stuff lately. I know we just went to Buzz for Kids. We were doing a lot of Stanley Cup coverage, man on the street type stuff. And then I believe we're going to have several main page takeovers for Red Sox games throughout the summer. I'm sure everyone's going to be heading out to a couple of those. Keep on the lookout. Ride the Wave Media is a train rolling off the tracks right now. Actually, is that a bad analogy? I think that means something bad's about to happen. Whatever a good analogy is, that's what's going to happen. Anyways, we missed last week. We had some MLB guys. I guess you could say we had a turnover in the MLB staff. So today's show, we got myself, Dylan, and Adam. We are joined by Alex Lane. You might see him doing main page takeovers, Ride the Wave NHL takeovers, around the street with Warrior and the Bruins World Order. But Alex, glad to have you on the show. You're a season ticket holder, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, I'm Alex Lane. First-time season ticket holder this year. You'll probably see me at most of the games once the Bruins are done the Stanley Cup. I definitely will be at the game this Sunday against Tampa Bay. Should be a good series. Definitely need to start winning. So thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely got to start winning. We missed last week's show, like we mentioned. So we have, I think it was 12 games since our last show. Sox have lost 3 series in a row.
Not really what we were looking for. I mean, the Yankees and Astros are good teams. They lost both those series. The Indians, that series could have gone a whole different way. They had a really bad game. I don't know if you guys remember where they blew like a 7-2 lead or something like that.
The guy hits a home run with no home runs.
Yeah.
So they allowed. Actually, I was at that game. We were winning in the top of the 9th, and we allowed 5 runs. The game lasted just over 5 hours with the rain delay, and it was just awful to see the bullpen just come up and just implode in the top of the 8th and 9th. It was awful.
That's just a tough, like, what was it, a 99.4% win probability? Win probability is just dumb. Like, whatever, like, stuff can happen, obviously. As we saw, stuff did happen. But you can't blow a game like that, especially when it comes down to your bullpen at the end. We're still kind of looking for a closer, and there's really no one pulling ahead of the race in that department.
You guys think it's worse when a middle reliever blows a game or a kicker in football blows a game? What's like the comparable? I mean, because you feel like they're out there battling it out the whole game, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, the kicker messed up.
Probably a middle reliever because you have more than one opportunity. Like a kicker just has one kick.
Right.
But if a middle reliever keeps blowing, he's like just not finding the plate at all the whole night.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
agree
one of
with
the
that.
worst ways to go out. I hate it.
You're supposed to get paid to be like a specialty arm coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And
Come
the only
out there,
thing special
throw
about
3
you is
pitches.
that- yeah. You face what, 3 batters or something? That's like your job. You take care of the 7th. If you
You're a
can't take care of
professional
the
athlete.
7th, I don't know. Like also, kickers are a different story. I think those people just have to be like insane human beings. That and like goalies in soccer or
Yeah.
hockey. Like the entire game is gonna get blamed on you,
Oh, yeah.
and you're rarely gonna get praised. The only way you're gonna get praised is you get a game-winning field goal, or you get a game-winning save, or for a middle reliever shut down an inning.
I think
The best
big thing
kickers are the ones you don't hear about. You know what I mean? Not making the news.
I think the big thing is if a kicker blows a game, he's getting like death threats and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Where the middle reliever blows the game, it's just sort of like, you can go back and try
Move on to the next
game.
guy. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. But hey, maybe Ryan Brazier is a better kicker than he is a middle reliever / closer because this guy just stinks. We were kind of debating back and forth earlier in the shows. Is Brazier going to be the guy? Is it going to be Barnes? Brazier had a better than mediocre but not great start to the season. Like he got the job done here and there. The dude loves pitching the give up a home run ball. I would not keep throwing that pitch if I were him. But hey, I'm not in the MLB. He is, but I don't know. Ryan Brazier, should we move on from him as like a closer? Should he be a middle reliever, a late reliever?
It's just disappointing.
Red Sox uniform.
I mean, this guy last year he had so much potential. He had his opportunities. He pitched great, and even in April he looked good as the closer role. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened from April to the way he's been performing now. I have nothing else to say except the pressure is getting to him.
Yeah, I agree. He shouldn't be a closer. We need to move on from him in that position. And I think our best shot is Barnes, but then even then he's inconsistent. So we have a big position to fill, and it feels like whenever we think we have a guy that can be there, they sort of fold. So
All right, so the closer with a beard and a weird pitching stance, and it looks a lot like Craig Kimbrell because he was on that team last year, but he was asking for an absurd amount of money. But hey, maybe if you want to sign up for a 1-year deal, it sounds like a way better idea. You got to win games if you want to have a closer like that, though. Red Sox obviously not winning games. They're not closing games. I think they lead the league in blown saves. Big mess in the bullpen.
All right, so the Red Sox are like 500 right now, right? So like, how much better do you think the Red Sox would be if they hadn't blown all these games, if they had a bullpen similar to the Yankees and Astros? Like, it's just hard to count. Like, how many games do you think they've blown out of like the 30 losses they've had?
I think they have 9 blown saves. That number definitely gets cut in half at the very least in terms of wins if you have Kimbrell or really anyone in the closing position. I think they're exactly 10 games back from what they were this time last year. And really the only roster change was what? Kimbrell. Like that was the big piece we lost.
There's no excuse for that. I mean, they do. Even last year, their bullpen had was a little rough during the season, but that's literally all they need right now. I feel like is they just need to get a stronger bullpen. Like, why not make a move?
Do you think though that the bullpen maybe that right now they're not, underperforming, but last year they just extremely overperformed?
They didn't really overperform to the playoffs. Like the entire leading up to the playoffs, everyone was saying Sox aren't going to win the World Series because their bullpen stinks. Hopefully that this is just kind of like I was listening to like Matt Barnes in Section 10. He was saying everyone kind of got in a slump during the same time. Hopefully this is them all doing the same thing, a slump except earlier. But there's really no signs to think positive of this bullpen. I was listening to actually Maz's baseball show driving home from work the other day, and they do like I forget it was like the bum of the week or something out of the bullpen. And you could really just list any of those guys. Like Workman, even we were high on him. Walden, those two just been having tough 2 stretches. I don't know. I just don't trust really anyone coming out of the bullpen at all.
All right, I feel like the bullpen, they need that one veteran guy. Like last year they had Kimbrel, and I think that could be the reason why they performed a little bit better last year because they all trusted in Kimbrel. But we just don't have that this year, and it's been killing them so far.
I felt like last year too, and we can all agree that the bullpen last year and this year is awful. Obviously, this year it's even more awful. But I felt like last year our offense was consistent, and this year it's high and then it's low, where they're scoring 1-2 runs a game, for a few games. And I think that's one of the other reasons why we're losing a lot of games too.
Yeah, we go a lot of like back 1 or 2 run games, and then we have like a big night, like a 13 run game. You always think they're going to build off this, like maybe the Sox are all the way back, maybe that they can continue this offense. Then Chris Sale takes them out, he gets them 17 strikeouts, they score 1 run or something like that. So
hey,
this isn't all the bullpen. This is obviously, we talked about this before as well. Pitching when you only have 1 run compared to a 7-run lead. Obviously messes up with their mental.
I think it's the whole team. I think the beginning of the season started off with horrible starting pitching. The pitchers couldn't go 2-3 innings without allowing 3-4 runs. And then, it started to be the bullpen, and then the inconsistency of the offense. It's just, I feel like whenever we can start clicking, we had that 5-game winning streak, and that was about it. And now it's just 1 win, 2 wins here, and then it's just back to losing again. And I think these last 3 series just really show what the Sox are this year so far.
It's frustrating too because everyone in the team can hit. I mean, besides Jackie Bradley Jr. But other than that, everyone's a hitter, and it's just they get runners in scoring position. The majority of the innings they're at the plate, and they just leave them in scoring position with 1 out, 2 outs, second and third bases loaded. It doesn't matter. And yeah, some of the games too have been low scoring. It's just because they keep leaving runners on every inning, and the best guys are doing it too. It's like JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. So they have nobody to blame but themselves. It's the whole team.
And I think that Cleveland series, if you look back at that, that series just showed exactly what this team is. I mean, you had the series after where they were scoring 1 run, 2 run games. But then that Cleveland series, you had 9 runs and you still lost because the bullpen decided to be inconsistent. So it's just on all sides of the ball, and it's sort of pathetic.
I'm hoping they can turn it around too. They don't seem to have that spark yet, because it's every inning, it'll be the 9th inning, they'll be down by a run or 2, and they just give up. The game's pretty much over going into the 9th. We haven't had very many 9th inning comebacks this year. And last year, you're seeing that all the time.
As a fan, that's probably some of the hardest baseball to watch is when your team's going 1 run, 12 runs, 2 run, because you can't pinpoint what the hell. I mean, would they hit? They can some nights, and then some nights they can't. And then the pitching holds them off some nights. And then, like you said, they give up a 14 runs the next night when they get 9 runs. It's just it's some of the most frustrating baseball to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you score 9 runs, you should win
almost
every
time.
game. Yeah,
every time.
That's bad bad pitching.
I think in baseball, honestly, I think the magic number is 5. I mean, I'm sure that is such a completely wrong whatever statistic. I don't have the numbers, but
it's a strong guess.
It's a strong guess, and I feel like I'm right. So if you're putting up 5 runs, that should be enough to hold. You know what I mean? Because if any more than that, then it's almost as if the opposing team is putting up a run an inning, and that obviously shouldn't be happening. So I don't know. I especially, like you said, 9 runs, that should be getting the job done. But the pitching, the bullpen, they just can't do it. I don't know.
The team is obviously not up. You want to do a stat?
Yeah, I was actually looking today. So they're 4-6 in their last 10 games, and I looked, and they were scoring an average of 6 runs throughout those 10 games, and they've lost more than they won. And like you said, you said the magic number was 5. You believe? I mean, that's
wrong,
even higher, and they're still losing.
Yeah, that's.
Who knows? This team is obviously not at the level of the Astros, the Yankees. Even the Rays, I'd even argue right now.
The Twins.
Yeah,
The
the Twins. We'll
Twins.
get to them later. But they're just not that top tier in the
Twins,
AL
baby.
that everyone kind of expect them to. There's still optimistic people saying
flashes the Twins.
there's
I'm wearing the
still
Twins shirt.
oh, there we go. Yeah, what? I think you talked about that last time. You had a
Yeah,
Twins
I said I would wear it. I'm wearing it tonight.
That's
There we go.
awesome.
big Reds and Twins podcast. But anyways, yeah, they're not up there with the top tier in the AL, and it's kind of frustrating because everyone still saying, "Oh, Sox are going to repeat." Yeah, they might repeat, but what are we going to have to base that off of as of June 4th, 2019? Whole lot of nothing. But anyways, we can kind of pinpoint some players. Dylan, I know you went to one of the Yankees games. Was it two?
No, I went to one. It was Saturday night.
That wasn't the Price game, correct?
No, it wasn't.
All right, so we'll get to Dylan's experience in a second, but David Price finally gets his first win at Yankee Stadium, and really a dominating performance. Like the dude just had one of his best starts of the season against one of the top AL teams. Glad to see that out of him. I'd argue he's the best Red Sox starter right now. You could have really a flip of a coin between him and Sale. Sale started out the year kind of slow. Price started the year kind of slow. I think I trust Price way more when he goes out there. Maybe because it's not because it's I don't trust Chris Sale, but the common theme for whenever Sale starts is the Red Sox aren't going to score runs. So when Price starts, you know that the bats should come alive. So that'll result in more wins. But I don't know. Price, pretty good.
Let me just say that win Sunday for Price was like a huge confidence booster for him. Hopefully the rest of the team sees that as a confidence boost from themselves too, because this guy, his whole career in a Red Sox uniform, he has been terrible at Yankee Stadium. Even at Fenway versus the Yankees, he's just not himself. He has like the highest ERA amongst all Red Sox pitchers at Yankee Stadium or something like that. And he was just dominant the other night. He had like a no-hitter through like 3.5, 4 innings. He just looked himself too. He didn't give up. He allowed like a run or two. I'm pretty sure it was a home run. He didn't give up. He stayed in there, pitched 7 solid innings. Great outing for him.
I was looking up some stuff because it seems like David Price always gets us out of the mud when we start to lose in series. And since last July, when he gave up, I believe it was last July, he gave up 8 runs against the Yankees. And since then, his ERA against the Yankees is just over 2, which is absolutely insane.
Since last July?
I believe so, yes.
That's getting it done.
Yeah, he's definitely pitched well against them. And like Dylan said, he's not known to pitch well in Yankee Stadium. So I believe last Sunday's performance was pretty amazing.
Do you know who I think of when I think of David Price is John Lackey? Like they each kind of didn't really win over Red Sox Nation as soon as they started out. Lackey took a different route, I guess, when they won the 13 World Series. I'm not sure if he ended up like tipping his cap when his last start of the season, when everyone kind of supported him when he started winning. But Price kind of went the other way with it. He embraced the positivity. He kind of accepted the fact that he obviously did not pitch well in the postseason and all that stuff. And then once he started doing it, he realized the love he can get. I don't know, but every single time I see like a David Price media snippet, the first person that comes to mind is like John Lackey's experience. Could just be me.
I would agree with that. I mean, didn't Lackey get caught up in the like the whole chicken and beer thing, or was that like before John Lackey? I can't remember.
It might have been. I know Beckett was the main guy.
Yeah, I know he wasn't like there was reasons though. I just can't remember. Like I know like he wasn't a fan favorite either. But Price
Lackey was kind of a stud the way Price was too, coming from Price didn't come from Anaheim to Boston, or not Anaheim, Tampa Bay, right?
He came from the Blue Jays, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. So they both were kind of already known for establishing themselves as these, well-known starting pitchers. And then, I mean, I don't know what Price is saying, but Lackey, I remember when he came for the Sox, he was ass. He was pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He struggled a lot when he came to Boston.
And then he went to St. Louis and beat up on the Cincinnati Reds, but it's not.
Yeah, the way he's been pitching, like Price, like especially with the last starter, it gives you throwbacks to 2013 Lackey. Lackey was dominant in 2013. It's good to see that from Price too.
It's good to see it from any of our pitchers right now.
Exactly.
Bro, and isn't pitching in Yankee Stadium? They got like, didn't they have like 100 engineers come out and aerodynamically design the stadium for wind to like blow through a pole and it blows balls out into the air?
And
or
then also
something
have
like
a 150-foot fence.
Yeah, then they have then their fence like you can throw your bat at it. Like
Yeah. it'll be
Oh my
the
god,
sixth row.
that was brutal too. It was so Saturday night, Rick Porcello pitched. He had a rough outing. I was at Yankee Stadium, so I was in enemy territory. Sox go ahead early, so it was all excitement, and then they gave up I'm trying to think. They were down 1-0, and then they like tied it up, and then they went down like 3-1, and then they tied it up again. And then this one home run, I'm pretty sure it was Gary Sanchez who hit it to put them up 5-3. It was like a 380-foot shot to like center field. And if that was at Fenway, it would have been like a routine fly ball for Jackie Bradley, like over
Yeah,
by
wouldn't
the
even made the
triangle.
warning track.
So it's just frustrating, like park like Yankee Stadium. But I had a fun time, my first experience. I was like way high up behind home plate too. Like it was so high up, I literally was not expecting it. It was like the nosebleeds at like Gillette Stadium. But
The
it was a
tickets
fun
were
time.
God.
Were the tickets still expensive there?
Yeah, the tickets, I'm pretty sure they're more expensive
Unreal.
than like Fenway too. And we had like some of the cheapest tickets in the park too.
Another way to get cheap tickets is to go to 1-100.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
That's two
nah,
plugs in one show. I hope you know.
let me tell you, I did not like some of what I experienced at Yankee Stadium because like the security guards were terrible. Like I don't know if it was just because I was wearing my Bruins jersey or whatever, but they like you go down to a section.
To a press box for basically nothing. Like,
Yeah.
we just walked into a press box, and the Red Sox security stinks, as we've heard. So maybe this is just security doing the job.
Yeah, so like they
people
had
just
the whole,
trust
like,
you. They see you and they're like,
every-
yeah, I'll let that guy go.
They
anywhere.
patrol everywhere, and it's like you go into a section that's not yours, they kick you out instantly. And this was like 40 to 50 minutes before the game starts. And they had like the whole like dugout and home plate area blocked off. So I couldn't try and like get an autograph or anything. Or we just had to go up to our seats because there was nowhere else to go.
Dude, that's because they're the Yankees, you know? Like that's all that is. Like just douche. That's all, I say douche, that's douche. Yeah.
And then the concourse is like you go through the concourse at Fenway. It's like filled with like history and like pictures and everything. The concourse at Yankee Stadium is just like a gray wall, like a concrete wall. I'm like,
I love it how they still say it's the house that Babe Ruth built, and it's a totally new stadium.
Yeah.
Totally new sport, basically.
Even if they're referring to like metaphorically as the Yankee, like the clubhouse he built, you know, but he was on the Sox. Like then you could say that if you want to take the metaphorical route, you could say that same shit about the Red Sox. Like that's a dumb slogan to try to claim Babe Ruth, and it's not the same building anymore. Somebody
I
has
know, it's crazy.
let me tell you, it was a beautiful stadium, but like compared to like Fenway, I couldn't really like feel all the history and everything that. I do
dude, give me
walking through, like,
history
Fenway.
over holographs and big ass boards. Give me history every single time. Every time.
that disgusting Marlins thing in the center field, like that
Yeah,
amusement
what
park, whatever that
the
is.
hell is that? I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was a kid and I saw the Diamondbacks had a pool one time, I was like, all right, that's kind of balling. But I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely. You'd play
Or
wiffle
even-
ball and you try to jump in the pool.
Or
Right.
even
That's it.
or even as bad as Tropicana Field is, it was still pretty cool that they had a Ray tank.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's when domes were kind of new. You know, like I don't know about.
Anyways, Rafael Devers, someone who is very good at baseball.
Balling.
He won AL Player of the Month along with Chavis, AL Rookie of the Month. Really, the only two guys that have been producing like night in and night out for the Sox team. My question to you guys is, which Red Sox players make the All-Star team? I think there's only really two locks, and one of those locks are kind of loose. I think Xander Bogaerts starts at shortstop. I don't see another AL shortstop starting over him. I think that's just kind of going to be a given. Rafael Devers, whether he starts or is a bench player, I think he should make it. Then it comes down to, do guys like Mookie, JD, Sale, and get in because of their history. In the All-Star games, kind of like on the NBA, if you're not really performing, but you're like LeBron James or something like that, you'll get in for the name. Like Kobe got in at the end of his career when he was just terrible, but he's Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get that kind of treatment? But yeah, I think the only two that should be absolutely in are Xander and Devers.
So I agree with you. I have Bogart starting at short. I could see Devers coming as a reserve, Mookie coming to the game as a reserve, and then you have Chris Sale and then JD Martinez.
Yeah, but even then, Sale doesn't have the numbers.
Or
That,
JD.
yeah,
No, I can't see
I don't
Sale
think-
making it. I definitely see Xander and Devers as a backup.
Mhm.
You might be able to argue Mookie as a backup, but Mookie and JD obviously aren't having the years like they did last year. But Xander is just, I think, so I was doing some stats and I was looking, and he's hitting over 400 in his last 15 games with 26 hits. It's unbelievable. So he's on fire, and I definitely see him starting.
yeah, Adam, I just saw that. I deleted it. Wait, Adam, can you talk? You are silent. Yo, there we go. Every
Zach.
show lately, we've been having technical
Bro, my
difficulties.
Mac just
Yeah,
loses
no,
internet connection randomly. Like,
We started
then-
out so strong with internet and all that stuff and all these technically sound things, but then a couple shows ago, I'm the one who produces it and hosts it and all that stuff. Everything kept cutting out, so that was a mess. Last week, my mic wasn't working for half the show. Was it? Like, what are we doing? We look like the Red Sox now of this podcast one. Anyways, sometimes we're good. Sometimes we're just horrible. You just ride it out. Ride the wave.
Ride
Get
it
it?
out.
'Cause you can get it because we're brought to you by Ride the Wave. Puns.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Moreland, I think you could have argued the beginning of the season should have made it, but his injury kind of halted that. Maybe he gets in at the very last pick or something, just because he is having a very good year despite the injury. If you want to look past the injury and just see what his numbers are, see the impact he has to a team is. I don't know. I'm not really sure how the MLB views voting people into the All-Star game. I know Brock Holt made it one year. If that just goes to show you something, hey, I'm a huge Brock Holt guy. Brock Holt made
I
an
love
All-Star
Brock
game.
Holt.
Brock Holt made an All-Star game. What?
I remember that year. That was 2015 Brock
Yeah, that
Holt.
was the only good thing that happened that Red Sox season.
Oh, yeah, it was. And then Mookie Betts, too. He was a rookie. I
Yeah,
think.
that was in his come up.
Yep.
But anyone else really for the Sox All-Stars? I'm trying to think. I don't think
Well,
anyone on the pitching
No
staff. making
bullpen,
it.
guys.
Yeah, nobody on the pitching staff. Could Chavis
Cora's going to
maybe
coach
sneak
them,
in?
right?
Yeah, because he was the World Series
So-
winner.
Cora will be coach.
Could
Out of
Chavis
all-
make it in? To be honest, he hasn't been in the league that much. But you have till July. I'm not sure when the All-Star voting ends. But the dude is a stud. I don't expect him to. I could see why he gets in. Maybe this is me having Red Sox bias, but the dude just hits the ball. He's a very he's a better than decent fielder. Like we said, he's just won AL Rookie of the Month. If he has another strong month, I have a good case of Chavis making the All-Star team. Do I expect it to happen? No, but I'd obviously be happy if it happened.
I don't really expect it, no, but I think definitely he has a good chance at Rookie of the Year so far.
I agree with
that's
Dylan.
cool.
Oh, who's that guy in the Yankees? His name's Gio Urshela or something like that.
Yeah, the third baseman.
Is he a rookie?
I don't know. Let's check. What's
Because that guy's he's a good baseball player. I mean, he just hits everything. He makes all of the plays at third.
No, he had a stint with Cleveland from 2015, 2017, Toronto last year, and obviously the Yankees this year. So don't have to worry about him in Rookie of the Year. Just him versus, it's really just Chavis versus Vlad.
What surprises me is we're 8.5 games back, and the Yankees have so many injuries, and it's just unreal how well they're playing with all those guys out.
Yeah.
And it makes me curious to see, what is that team going to be when those guys are back? Are they going to click well? Are they going to go
I
back to?
Yeah, I was
do you
thinking that
guys think?
earlier. because baseball, yes, it's a team sport. You obviously have to like get along with each other, just work well together. But it's not like basketball or football that every play relies on each other. Like you could have Judge and Stanton come back, and it's just you versus the pitcher when you're hitting. You can hit the cover off the ball. You can do nothing. I expect them to be hitting well because that's why they're in the major leagues. So I really only see them improving chemistry-wise. They're in the locker room still all the time. They're still with the team, so they're still having like that off-the-field relationship. And then in the field, you kind of just you need to know your position. They've been playing it for a while. Nothing much in baseball has changed this year.
To me, it's not so much Judge. It's more Stanton with all his strikeouts. And I think that could come back to hurt them a little bit if he goes back striking out all the time, because they've been hitting more than they have home runs, which is unusual because they're a home run team. So
personally,
I mean, it's a big momentum killer. If you have somebody come up in your lineup and you're in the middle, especially Stanton, where he's going to be in the 4-hole, 5-hole, maybe. He comes up here, you have a rally going or something like that, and he strikes out. It's shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I'm curious to what's going to happen when he does come back.
Personally, I don't see the Yankees getting much worse from here. I honestly think the Red Sox are they need to turn around unless they go on like a big winning streak. I only see them as like a wild card team this year. Yeah. So it's just scary. You just hope that like something happens with their chemistry when they come back, because I don't see them getting much worse. I only see them getting way better from here, and they've already been performing like unbelievable so far.
I don't see this.
Sorry, do you think the wild card should be more than a 1-game series? Should be like a 2 out of 3 series? Because it's technically like game 163. Literally anyone could be pitching. It's not like you're gonna save your ace for the wild card game. It's a couple days after the regular season ends, maybe 1 or 2 days after the regular season ends. You have a bad game, you're out of the playoffs. Maybe it's you should have been playing better in the season. This is kind of your chance to get into the playoffs. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I kind of like the 1 game. I feel like the intensity of it's awesome, and it's like game 163, as you said, it's the game to make the playoffs. Like you got to have your best guy in the mound throwing. There's no time for error in that game. It's just a big spot, and I like it. I mean, a 3-game series wouldn't be bad either.
I like having that one game. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand I understand having 2 out of 3 because it's like, well, let's see who the best baseball team is. And baseball is usually driven around series rather than just 1 game. But that 1 game, if you have, say, your 3rd pitcher going, 4th pitcher going, that's just where happens your rotation is at the time. Like you said, game 163. That's showing whether you're the more complete ball club, whether then can you strategize around winning in the playoffs. That's why people always separate, when talking about David Price, saying David Price couldn't win in the playoffs, but he's great in regular season, obviously put that to bed, but it's 2 separate entities. So that regular season game, that 1 wild card, like you said, should just stay just 1 game, in my opinion. That's what I think. I think it's good. It's competitive, do or die. March Madness, let's get to it,
I agree. I mean, how many more games do you want? You play 162.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing is like win your division. If you don't want to play that 1 game and have to put your ace on the mound and then have him pitch, game 3 or 4 in the next round if you win, then win your division. It comes down as simple as that. 162 games. If you can't win your division, well, then you get that 1 game.
And it might suck for the team that's like, we might be a wild card team, but for the teams that like the Twins or whatever, the Yanks right now, the freaking I don't know whoever else is in first place, it's like that's like that's fair. Yeah, Stros. They're like, we're winning our division. We should be granted we get to play in these series rather than I don't have to. All right, we didn't really show out all year. So why should you be given another series? Like, you weren't quite good enough, but we'll give you 1 more shot. Like, no, like go battle it out, show us you deserve to be here, and then we'll give you a series. I mean, that's the way I see it. I'm not for anything that makes any sport or anything softer. Like safer, yeah, but softer, no. That seems like just
nails on the field and spikes.
Yeah, right. gravel. They have to play on gravel.
Yeah, it's like street ball. Kind of wrapping up the Sox talk. We always talk about Pedroia, but he's on the 60-day out, and I do not think he plays another game wearing a Red Sox uniform or a baseball uniform.
I
think
hope they
he's
bring
done.
him back like Ichiro, where he plays like a game or two or three.
Yeah, like a
games,
David
and then-
Wright shout out how he did it.
Yeah, and then he hangs up the cleats. I think that's what they got to do for Pedroia.
Is he been on the Red Sox his whole career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Farm league and everything. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He
traded
won
or
it.
anything.
He won it when he was a rookie. They won.
Hats off. He had a great career.
And he had a wild journey too. I'm drawing a blank on this, but he wasn't like drafted or something, or was, or
Yeah. Him and Yasiel Puig came over together.
yeah, right. It wasn't that wild of a story.
Yeah.
Yasiel
No,
Puig carried Pedroia.
That's the
I-
thing about Pedroia is he's always played with a huge chip on his shoulder, being
Yeah,
a
that's
little
what I
guy
mean.
and everything.
Yeah.
He got doubted a lot early in his career too, and then he came out in it was either 2007 or 2008 and won Rookie of the Year.
When they interviewed him, he even said, he sort of admitted like he's not sure if he's going to play again. And I think the way Chavez is playing, it's obviously way too early because he's a rookie. But you have Holt, you have Chavez, you can fill those positions. And I just feel, it's going on 2 years now. He's tried to come back twice, and he's now back in rehab again. I don't see him. I don't see him coming back, and it's unfortunate because to me, before Betts and before he got injured, he was the face of the Red Sox, him and Ortiz. So
I feel like he's still too young. It's just disappointing. I feel like
Mhm.
if he was playing right now too, he'd be the captain of the team and everything. But it's like that's what you get with a guy like Pedroia, though. You get a tough guy who sacrificed his body his whole career, and his body's just had enough.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was, like I said, he was going to be the face and the captain once Ortiz left, and unfortunately, he got injured, and it's just been downhill from there. So I think I just don't think he's coming back.
It's weirder too that he's like a smaller guy, and he ended up kind of getting injured. You'd think it'd be more of the bigger, heftier dude getting.
Like Prince Fielder with his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His-
if you-
all of them,
I
all
like to
6 of
compare
them.
him. I like to compare him to Brandon Phillips. I feel like he's similar to like Brandon Phillips.
Red Sox
But-
legend Brandon Phillips.
I just
Oh,
wish
hey.
when you look at Phillips'
Don't
career versus
disrespect.
Pedroia's career, I just wish Pedroia had a much longer career like Phillips did.
Dude, B-Phil did some of the most incredible things I've ever seen on a baseball field. What did he do for the Sox?
He wore number 0. That's really
He did.
He hit a home
He
run.
hit a
that one
go-ahead
time.
home run
Yeah.
last year. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
what
right.
he was
And then they
known
sent him right back down, right? Or something like that.
yeah. He didn't make. I guess he either didn't make the playoff roster, or he said he wasn't coming for the playoff run, or something like that.
Yeah,
Little
instead- it's-
score update since we're still on the Sox. We're down 2-0 in the bottom of the second.
Nice.
To the Royals. Here,
I
the
know.
Royals are
All
turning it
teams.
around.
Royal Blue.
This is where the Royals run starts right now.
And then to wrap up the Red Sox talk, MLB draft for this past week, we picked up 2 shortstops, which I think were pretty good in the shortstop department. But I don't know. I guess we could always have 2 more. We got Cameron Cannon and Matthew Lugo. I know nothing about these 2, literally nothing. I
Whoa.
just found out their names 2 minutes before we did the show.
I'll have
One
to do my
thing-
research.
Go on, Dylan. I will follow you.
I'll have to do my research on these guys because I like to track as many college and MLB prospects as I can because I like to go to a lot of Cape League games in the summer because I have family who lives down there and everything. So maybe they're playing, maybe one of them or 2 of them is playing in the Cape League this summer. So I'll have to check that out.
One thing about the draft, two things about Sox here. Cameron Cannon, that's a great baseball name. I know I said it to you guys before the thing, but
No,
That's
it
just
had to be
like-
said. You're right.
I have to say it. People have to know. Cameron Cannon, Sox Nation should be excited about anybody with the last name Cannon. That's great. And second, the early reports on him or something like that were talking about him eventually going over to the hot corner or possibly playing second base. I guess that was they don't see him as a full shortstop. That was a
Yeah, that's how
scouting report.
Bajoy was drafted. Going back to him, he was drafted as a shortstop.
Yeah, but Cannon can contrary to his name, he's a hell of a hitter. That's really the thing. is he comes with a rake. So
A literal rake. He just
an
steps up to
actual
the
rake,
plate.
It's wider. He can hit balls better. It's great.
Steps up to the plate with the same thing he used to rake his lawn in the morning.
That was one actually. Speaking of the draft, that was one thing. That was one topic I wanted to bring up. Is there any worse? Okay, not worse. And I know I'm pretty much comparing it to just the NBA and NFL. But is there anything more frustrating than? And I love baseball, my favorite sport, but the way they do the draft and the way and how long sometimes it takes to see these young guys who should be on a team but aren't, or
Never make
old
it.
guys. Yeah, who never make it, or old guys on a team who like are hitting 220. Why the hell would you not bring up the fast 23-year-old or whatever who's hitting 245? I understand. I know the whole developmental thing, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think the only difference there is like
I know it.
mental.
Mental. I know that's got to be it. But
Yeah, it has to be.
God, it's so frustrating. It's hard to get excited about these drafts because, like, damn, all right, cool. We drafted Cameron Cannon. Like, I cannot wait till 2030 when I see him out there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Or
Yeah, that's
or
what I'm
you
saying
dra-
for like the NBA. Like growing up playing like AU basketball, I played against like people who made the G League team or won a national championship. Even like a kid from Franklin, Mass. Starts in Villanova. Like he won a national championship and he dunked on one of my best friends. Like that, like you just know they had the physical ability to play at the next level. I'm sure the MLB guys do. I know the NFL, you have to wait till you're a certain age now. I think that's more physical, but baseball is the most mental sport out there. You got to learn how to see a curveball. You got to learn how to hit a 99 mile per hour fastball, how to hit, field the ball off the outfield wall, the green monster. That doesn't come overnight. Every stadium's a new stadium, while every basketball court or every football stadium, they're all 100 yards. They're all however many feet, like 96 feet. The free throw line's always going to be the same length. Baseball stadium, yeah, like you have the 90 feet bases, all that stuff. Every park has a different dimension. Every pitcher has different stuff. It's not like you're going to see the same fastball or the same cutters change up from every single guy. So I think it's just kind of adjusting to even life on the road. It's a 162 game season.
I think like Adam said, it's frustrating when you see these guys and they might play 10 years from now. But what also is frustrating about the draft is you see these guys that get drafted and you don't even know if they'll play that sport. They might go into football like Kyle Murray and Russell Wilson. So it's like
Danny Ainge.
It's just frustrating seeing these guys that you're drafting and they might play in 10 years. They might play another sport. I don't think you see that in the other sports. So
well, that's got to do with the sexiness of baseball. People shit on baseball all the time saying, oh, it's not sexy. It takes too long. It's boring, blah, 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 you know, and that's what some of these young guys I think are going for. Like Kyler Murray. This guy is a stud baseball player. Everybody's saying he's going to play baseball. And then all of a sudden, has a Heisman. He won the Heisman, right? He wins a Heisman.
Confirmed Heisman winner. They gave him a trophy and everything. And then he decided, oh, yeah, this is sweet. I'm going to go to the NFL. Like, do you think guys could do a Bo Jackson route after their, I guess, football season? Like football players don't have long careers like baseball or NBA guys or something. Is there anyone, I guess you could argue Michael Jordan went from basketball, had a small MLB career, but it was obviously very, very bad.
Yeah.
But there's no one other than really him that kind of went from one sport and had a career in another one.
Oh,
Deion Sanders.
Tim Tebow.
Oh, Deion Sanders.
Tim
Tim Tebow is worse than Michael Jordan.
Tim Tebow, he's in Double-A right now, isn't he? Something
Tim
like that.
Tebow actually has the locker right next to some guy I went to high school with.
That's cool.
Weird.
I've always
Weird
been
flex.
a big Tim
Weird
Tebow
flex,
guy. I hope he makes it to the big
To be
show.
honest, I didn't go to high school with him. He's a couple years older than me, and I school choice to a different town. I just know the name. Ian Strong. What's up? I know of him because
Cool
of
story.
like he went to the same high school I did, lived in the same town and stuff. He probably has zero clue who I am. Yeah,
It's still cool.
Tim
Still cool,
Tebow.
man.
What's up?
What's up, Tim? If I had a daughter and I wanted her to marry anyone, it would be Tim Tebow. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know. I'm not really into that. Like,
I would agree with that, Adam.
Super,
You're right, dude.
super
You're right.
religion.
Yeah.
When
I
you
would
have
want her to marry Manti Te'o because then he wouldn't actually date her.
Damn. Just when Manti thought that was gone.
Oh,
5
buddy.
years
Bring it
later.
back.
When you hear Manti Te'o, the first thing you think of is imaginary girlfriend.
Oh,
That has to be
100%.
one of the weirdest stories of all time. I think I was
God.
in like 7th or 8th grade or something when all that came out. And just like looking back on it, this dude was an unreal football player for Notre Dame.
Bro.
Like one of the best linebackers in the country. And
Almost won a national championship.
yeah, his biggest red flag about him was he was basically dating this like 45-year-old obese man, just catfishing him on the internet for like 3 years. They didn't even talk face to face, obviously, for 3 years. They didn't call each other. They just had an email, text relationship the entire time.
But
That's
that
dumb.
was when
ESPN 30 for
catfishing was
30
kind of
coming
new.
up.
Yeah, ESPN 30 for 30, the girlfriend that never was.
Oh my god! And the media, bro, they played him. They played him. If
Oh,
I'm
like a
Manti,
fiddle.
oh my god! Just don't talk. If I'm Te'o, I'm like, stop talking about it. Let me go. Catfishing was like new then. They had that show
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like, you know what I
He
mean?
got people careers off that.
I don't even
show.
know if Tinder was out yet. Like, get Te'o on Tinder. People are getting catfished all the time now. But I mean, obviously, they're not national championship middle linebackers cranking the haka out there, you know, winning natty titles. But
To be fair, he is also not a national championship linebacker.
true, true.
He's not.
But he's doing all right. He's doing all right for himself.
Yeah, him and his best friend, whoever. Honestly, whatever. It could be anything behind that.
I gotta
computer
see
screen.
now if Manti Te'o has a girlfriend. It just,
Just a white screen pops up.
I'm gonna s-
Been together
Dude.
8 years.
Dude.
Just imagine that.
Hey.
Like we're going off on a crazy tangent right now. The day you find out that the person that you quote unquote love is just nothing at all, not even the same like gender as you thought she was. I mean, that's just got to be the biggest kick in the nuts of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's like, you went 3 years and you didn't talk to her on the phone. It's
People
unreal.
are dumb, man. I don't know what to say. It shocks me to see just how unintelligent the exact same species is. All right. Anyways, back to MLB stuff. Andrew McCutchen, torn ACL. Bad. In fact, not good. Horrible. Terrible.
Bad.
Yuck.
Huge blow for the Phillies.
Disappointing.
bad for baseball.
The
Glove
best outfielder the Phillies had is out for the season.
touch.
Calling you out, Bryce Harper. Mitch
What's up,
Moreland has
Bryce?
better numbers than you.
Yeah, 224. Get out of here.
Do we think the Mets are gonna take over that division, or the Braves? I mean,
I don't know. I like the Braves. I don't really know anyone on the Phillies all that much, other than Bryce Harper. But I don't know. I'm also going to be rooting for the Braves because I go to school at Penn State. I mentioned it probably, and Philly people are the worst people I've ever met in my life. Simple as that. I hate them more than anything. If I could wipe out a species of people, it would be anyone from Philadelphia. And I have family in Philadelphia, but you know what? You got to cut some ties.
You got casualties of war.
Yeah, it happens. You move on. You have other family members.
Dude, I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think. I think the Mets choke. I don't know. I think it's in their DNA.
Yeah,
I
it's just
think-
like saying the sun's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the Braves are just. I think they're there, but I think they're too young. I would kind of liken them a little bit to the Reds. Obviously, that's the best
they won it
example I
last
can
year.
know.
They won their division last year.
Did they?
I like
well,
the
they-
yeah, I
so,
like the
didn't they?
Braves.
Yeah, but they also did. The Phillies weren't this Phillies. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think the Phillies in the end up taking that division, but that's not to say the Braves couldn't do it. I just know the Mets won't do it. I know that for sure.
Either way, it's still a huge blow for the Phillies. That's tough.
Oh, that division is going to come down to the wire, though. I feel like the Mets should be better than they are playing right now. They have pretty good pitching, too.
I think what's weird is seeing Washington just not be up on top or
Mhm.
within close.
They were
And I
so
just-
high going into the season, too. People had them, like, winning the division and everything.
Dude, they're on a tear right now. They took 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. They're 7 of 3 in their last 10. I mean, they're only 6.5 out, you know?
Is the
They've
weirdest
got-
thing in baseball the Twins right now?
Yes.
Say again.
This is the weirdest thing in baseball. We kind of mentioned it before, but the Minnesota Twins.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
I'm on that bandwagon for
you
sure.
have Cleveland in that division, and you're still destroying.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. We talked about this earlier, but in earlier episodes, we know one or two people in the Twins.
No, I think
They are-
Cleveland was favored to
we
win that.
barely know
They're-
a pair of people to call twins.
For your information, they are leading the AL Central by 11.5 games.
I mean, who saw this coming?
That's
Nobody on the
unbelievable.
Twins probably saw it coming.
Ooh, this is a good segue into my awesome statistic. I just want to throw this. I
Yeah.
just wanted to run the editor. So, and I know I say Cincinnati Reds, but people just let me do it. Let me get it out there. All right, this is our little bit of clout. All right, the media, they don't care. Nobody cares. So let me get it out there.
They don't even know where Cincinnati is.
The Reds. So this is talking about the toughness of the NL Central, right? So you got the Cubs, Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates, who somehow the Pirates are overplaying. The Reds are in last place in the NL Central, but they're only 5.5 games out of first. In the other 5 divisions, the last place teams are an average of 17 games out of first. That's saying something with the NL Central. That's a scrap bar fight, bro.
Yeah, lunch pail.
Definitely
Bare
the
That's
knuckle
a lunch
brawl.
pail, good old blue collar.
Yeah, clock in, clock out. And
Clock in, clock
then
out.
you do your job, but the man still beats you down.
Yeah, bunch of hustle. That's all I
So
know.
what you're saying is Cincinnati has a chance, and they can go eat their chili in a can on their spaghetti tonight and enjoy it.
Hey,
Has anyone ever had that?
got a stab
Skyline
at
chili.
Skyline? Because that's running. That is running in there. Just running in there.
Instead of veins, he just has Skyline chili noodles. I've never had it, and I don't think I'll ever have it.
Dude,
But obviously, part of my
I got
take kind of
pan.
popularized it way more than that's how I found out about it. Skyline, wait, what does it even taste? What is it? It's just chili on pasta.
Bro. Oh my god,
That sounds like something I'd make when I have no food in my house.
No.
Do they serve that at the ballpark?
Yes. They're
Really?
a big sponsor of the Reds. If you get 11 strikeouts, you get a La Rosa free pizza.
That's an incentive.
Yeah. Hey, Reds pitching's number 2 in all of baseball.
Oh, buddy, Skyline chili for everyone.
So everybody in Cincinnati has been shitting a lot.
Yeah, great plumbers in Cincy. Cincinnati Skyline chili plumbers. All right,
They have
anyways,
the longest bathroom lines.
When you eat Skyline, you know what you're doing to yourself, but you do it anyways. It's kind of one of those things. Like,
oh, I get that. I treat my body
Yeah.
like a rental car, dude. Like I'm getting a new
Yeah.
one tomorrow, but like in reality,
Oh.
like it's not happening.
yeah,
All right. Anyways, MLB record 1,135 home runs hit in May. I love it. Obviously, we talked about this before. I'm pro steroids. I'm pro cheating. I'm pro everything like that. If you can hit a home run every single time you hop up to the plate, it's a good strategy.
I'm not to say I'm pro steroids, but I do think
Get on the train.
the 1,100 home runs, I think it's great for the game. I really hope it helps to bring back its fans from. I feel like the game was huge from like the early 21st century, and then it's just died ever since. So I'm hoping it helps
shooting
bring some-
3-pointers and dunks now.
I'm hoping the record number of home runs. I hope people see that and they come back and start enjoying the game like it used to be.
we're letting people pimp out the home runs, man. Shout
Yeah,
out
I
to
watched the College World Series. The dude just moonshotted it and then basically threw the bat farther than the ball landed.
Yeah, I saw that.
I want to see another Sosa McGuire race. I want to see
That's
that
what I'm
home
saying.
run
Yeah.
race.
Give me
Exactly.
steroids. If someone
Cheaters,
gets
I don't know if
triple
I'm pro cheaters. But
Oh, buddy, you're on the wrong train.
I
You got to
know.
hop
Well,
on the
we're from-
bandwagon now.
We're from Boston, so they're gonna assume we're cheaters anyways. So screw
Yeah,
it.
might as well lean into it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll pine tar. I'll juice the balls. I'll make aluminum bats look like metal bats.
Hey, it's only the Patriots right now. Really,
aluminum.
the Pats are really the only one with people outside of Boston.
a little behind the scenes action. I'm not sure if this person wants me to say it, so I'm actually going to keep it super anonymous. So this isn't really behind the scenes action, but a certain someone at a certain company that this podcast might be incorporated with might be doing a certain video thing about a certain team and cheating stuff and how the media blew it up. And that's all I have to say about that.
That was a lot of great knowledge, Ty. Thank you for sharing that.
I don't know if he or she wanted this to be a surprise, so I'm not gonna out him or her.
So I can't wait for what I don't know, I guess.
But keep on the edge of the seat.
Yeah.
If that's not a teaser, I don't know what is. Welcome to the trailer. All right, a girl got smoked by a foul ball, and I have no idea what her condition is. Do we want netting, more netting, less netting, people to look when a foul ball is coming at them, or I don't know. What thoughts?
Well, from what it seems like, all of these stadiums now are going to be extending their nets all the way down the line, which personally as a fan, it sucks. But you see why they do it, for the safety of the fans, especially with all the cell phones nowadays. That plays a role in the safety of fans too. So, I mean, I guess they have to do it. It sucks, but it is what it is.
I look at it as, so I stood up in the pavilion section, and the last game I went to, there had to have been 15 foul balls up there. And it's like, at what point do you say enough with the nets? How far can you go? Because what are you going to start extending nets all the way up in the pavilion section at Fenway? It's just, I don't know. That's my take on it.
You know, even on the ticket, it's like a waiver when you buy the ticket that if an injury happens in the stadium, it's not really the stadium's fault. Like if you get hit by a foul ball, it's just a bad day. Simple as
pay
that.
attention to the game.
Yeah. Everyone's looking at their phones, Snapchat and boomeranging.
Which is weird too, because you think if people are spending money to stay down low, most of them are going to be bigger baseball fans. You think they're going to be paying attention anyways, right?
Most of the
They just
time,
have
it's
rich
just
parents.
most of the time it's just these business people though who have nothing better to do than to do their work on their phone while they're at the games and stuff like that. It's just
nothing worse than
I
the
say
guy
hit
at
'em.
a game.
I say we
nothing.
intentionally hit them.
Nothing
We
worse
should
than the
throw
guy
them.
at the game that has a jersey over his like button-down shirt. He's like, "Oh, I just came from work." Like, buddy,
Right.
who cares? Just get changed at the,
Hey,
the
you got a
bathroom on
job,
the car.
bro?
Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, sick brag. You have buttons on your
That's
shirt.
awesome.
With my luck, I get hit with the foul ball while I'm blogging for Ride the Wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we go to war.
I agree with
these
that
people are
though.
smart.
Yeah, then
If
put
you're
up all
sitting
the
down
net.
there, you can't be looking at your cell phone. You got to be watching the game.
Yeah.
That's just
Go
a
ahead.
given. Get your head out of your phone.
Yeah.
Enjoy the time. You bought a ticket for a reason, you morons.
Well,
Exactly.
baseball was made for a
This girl
time
was also
when-
like what, 8? So I mean, like,
yeah,
what-
no, she was a little girl. She was a little girl, so that
I'm
really
gonna
sucks.
see if
but
she's like,
she's all right, I
good.
think.
girl got hit with baseball.com. June 2nd. So this came out the other day. His emotional reaction. There are 2 places. Oh, this guy blames the dad. Oh, she was 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can't blame.
Hopefully she's okay. Do you ever remember that video where the dad sort of caught the bat and protected the kid from getting in the head? Where was her dad when that happened?
Probably on his phone, like we just said.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of people like their phones more than they like doing stuff. And
You
like,
and
I run through social media, so I can't really talk. Like I'm on my phone a lot. But if I'm at a game, I'm gonna be watching the game.
I have so much more respect for the people who actually sit there and score the game while they're watching it at like Fenway or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just great because they're not looking at their phones or whatever. They're actually watching the game and writing down what happens as they watch.
Well, I love
Go
the
ahead.
old guys with the big headphones on. They're listening to the local announcers.
Steve
just
Bartmans
show-
of the world.
Yeah. Shout out Steve. You can come out now, Steve. It's okay.
Yeah, they won a World Series. Everything
Yeah,
should
come
be.
on, buddy.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We are gonna finish the show with some DM questions. I'm just gonna be pulling them up. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. All right, we have 9. A couple of them aren't even questions. All right, so we have a lot of bad ones here and there. Danny Casola, this is a bad one. I'm assuming this is Tot son Chris Sale. I'm going to assume he spelled thoughts on Chris Sale wrong. We answer this DM every single week, so listen to the show. Caden from Ride the Wave Media, He went to Buzz for Kids. He actually got his head shaved. One of the 4 Ride the Wave media guys. They got their head shaved. It was a pretty cool event. I'm going to talk briefly about it. Pretty cool. I definitely suggest going next year. Ride the Wave media went. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a powerful experience. I didn't really know what to expect going in, but I'm definitely going to go back next year. Probably not going to shave my head because I don't want to shave my head as bad as that sounds, even though I might ride the wave, but I don't know. Not my thing. Caden.
Wow, loves cheaters. Won't shave his head.
I don't want to start that narrative. That's why I went right down that road, and I saw the light at the end of the tunnel wasn't an escape from the conversation. It was just a train coming full speed. Caden said, keep JBJ. I say, thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
I think he's just a name at this point. Now it's just like more nostalgic. Yeah.
It's tough. I think it's tough. It's tough because we're in a position next year where does JD opt out of his contract? Does Mookie Betts want Trout money to where we don't sign him? And now if you're getting rid of JBJ, then who do you have for the outfield?
You got Holt. You got who's obviously not an outfielder, but he's a utility guy. If you want to kind of make JD a full-time right field guy, you could. Don't think that's a good idea. Or you can just look for another. Like we talked about this on episodes before. Like there comes to a point when lack of offense doesn't really make up for your spectacular defense. I don't know.
I think the Red Sox will be just fine having JD in right field. I honestly do. It's just frustrating. He's an automatic out. JBJ's an automatic out every time he goes to the plate now. He strikes out. His strikeouts, too, they're on 3, 4, 5 pitches. He doesn't even put up a decent fight. It's just frustrating to watch. He'll show signs of life for like a game or two, and then he'll just go back to, slumping, hitting like a 180.
Only one catcher for the rest of the season, Sandy or Vasquez. This was also from Caden. I'm going Vasquez for his offense. Obviously, Sandy has the connections with some of the pitchers, per se Sale. I don't know. But Vasquez can catch. He can hit. He can call a good enough game. He'll obviously build a chemistry.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that last episode, didn't we?
Yeah. A couple of episodes. We're kind of repeating some stuff.
As much as we all miss Swihart, though, it's like both Leon and Vasquez have been doing great lately. Saturday night, too, when I was at Yankee Stadium, Leon had 2 RBIs, and he drove in the first run of the game, and then he drove in the third run of the game to tie it up again. So he was producing, coming in clutch for us, and he's also had some great plays, too, defensively. So I like both of our catchers.
Yeah, I like both of them. I definitely probably lean towards Vasquez because of his offense, but like you guys mentioned, Leon has that connection, especially with Sale. So
Logan _Fitz with 2 T's. Repeat question mark eyes emoji. I don't know what they're repeating. Maybe repeating wins.
No, repeating
champion.
I know. Obviously, I don't think they're going to repeat. But like at this moment, I don't think the Red Sox are going to win the World Series. I want them to. Not showing me anything that's going to kind of prove it. Bruins _Slayer. He's on not my side. He's not on my side. That's what I was trying to say. They're going to make it to the World Series again this year. Maybe the World Series, like Little League World Series, because that's the only baseball they have the opportunity to be playing that time of year. I'm not anti-Red Sox. Let me get that out there. I want them to do well. I'm looking at the season how it is. T Wade 9673. Why do we stink so much this year? It's a simple answer. We're not pitching, we're not hitting, and we're not winning baseball games.
No consistency.
Consistency. That's really what it boils down to.
Some of it's got to blame. You got to blame some of it on the manager too. I mean, I haven't been all fond of all of Alex Cora's decisions this year too, especially with his pitchers. You have guys that'll stay in an extra inning, give up home runs or whatever. We've seen it with Rick Porcello, Chris Sale, and some of his lineup changes I do not approve of either. But
I felt like he had a lot last year, to go off of what you're saying, Dylan. During the playoffs, he had a lot of decisions where it almost came back to bite him, but it didn't, and we ended up winning it all. But I feel like a lot of those decisions that he's making now are coming back to bite him, like you're saying. So I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree. It's all part of being a young manager too, but it
Mhm.
starts with the manager as well, especially with the way this team's been performing because they're capable of playing so much better baseball.
And the fact he has a World Series and, like you said, a young manager, it's way too early, in my opinion, if anybody's thinking this, to start talking about Cora on the hot seat. Like,
No,
Oh,
yeah,
for sure,
definitely.
for sure.
okay. I mean, there's people out there who are already calling for it, obviously.
Because it's
Too
Boston
early.
filled with psychopaths.
Yeah, too early. Settle down.
Way too early.
Settle down.
J-Sax, not on our side. J-Sax 2, Sandy Leon, greater than Christian Vasquez. Sure, whatever. Everyone has their own opinion. Hunter 1K, your preferred outfield from left to right. Going Benintendi, Mookie, and honestly, JD Martinez. As weird as that sounds, but I think you got to move JBJ out. He makes, a couple diving catches, a couple big plays out of a 162 game season, and he can't hit a baseball. I'll take JD in right.
Agreed.
But he's fast. I love that when people say, but he's so fast. He covers
Yeah,
so much ground. Cool. What?
Guess what
Kidding?
else? Every other outfielder does.
He
They're
doesn't
there for
cover
a
much
reason.
ground.
That's
that.
literally what an outfielder does.
What? There's
Like,
30 odd outfielders. I'm pretty sure they're pretty good. There's
Yeah.
And
3
and-
billion people on the planet. These are
Mookie's-
the top 30 in outfielding.
yeah,
what they do.
We'll go find another fast guy. Like, you
Yeah.
could get a
I'll find
fast guy.
Usain Bolt and give him a baseball glove and say, just chase
Or
the
that
ball.
dude, the Freeze, beat the Freeze at the Braves. Who you seen that guy?
Yeah, I'm big
Get
freeze.
him out there, bro. That guy's the fastest man alive.
I also think Mookie is just as good of an outfielder as JBJ defensively. Mookie can cover the triangle just as well in center field if you put Martinez in right.
Mookie also fast.
Exactly.
Confirmed. Fast.
And then last one
Great.
of the day in episode C, Brooksy 33. TD Garden brought back the donut burger. Should Fenway Park do the same? I'm assuming this is a burger instead of buns. It's donuts. I used to work at a Dunkin' Donuts for 5 years. No, not 5 years. Maybe. Yeah, since I was a sophomore in high school. So I'm a junior. I go back for winter, Christmas breaks and stuff. And we sold a bacon, egg, and cheese on a glazed donut. And it was just heart attack sandwich. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
What's-
if I'm
what's
pro
more of a heart
everything that
attack?
everyone hates, yeah,
What's
bring
what's
it
more
back.
of a heart attack, that or the Skyline chili?
Yeah, it's up
Dude,
man.
that-
We'll have to do a poll.
that? Are you kidding me? Using donuts as buns? No. Don't
Time to
bring
look
that.
up how many people have
At least
a heart
there's, like,
attack in
some-
Cincinnati.
Dude, well, I mean, don't get me started. You know, Midwest, we're a little thicker, right? But we need that. But listen, bro, using donuts as buns, that's a
Yeah.
no. I mean, come on.
I'm not a fan.
That's a no for me. Give me like a soft, crispy bun, you know? Crispy.
Yeah, like a pretzel bun. Pretzel buns are so underrated, dude. Pretzel buns are fire.
Yeah, I can go for
I'll-
a pretzel bun. This is where
I'll
we
take a
plug in the
pretzel
pretzel bun company. If any pretzel bun companies are listening,
Yeah, darn tough socks. If you guys are still listening, I reached out
Yeah.
to you and you guys just totally left me unopened. But you liked the promo video. You responded to the video. I reached out via email and DM.
hit us
Try to work something out, and it said to go kick rocks.
You
All
keep our feet warmed, Arm Tough. We want to help you.
That wraps up episode 9. Do you guys have any final thoughts? My only final thought is the Bruins are going to win the Stanley Cup. We're going to have a parade, and there's going to be Ride the Wave media content. Check it out.
Keep checking the
Agreed.
story on Ride the Wave Media. Myself, Ty, Alex, we're all going to games coming up. I think I'm going Friday and possibly Monday too. So that's another 2 games we'll have content for. And then Alex is going on Sunday, he said. So we'll just have content all around. So
I will
just stay
have
tuned.
I'll have a brief kind of ride the wave takeover in Philadelphia. Ty, I'll be sure to
Nice.
tell the people how you feel when I'm there. And
I know who I am.
we'll be going to they'll know. I'll be at
the tall
Phillies-
Phillies. Ride the Wave.
right. Phillies Diamondbacks, all right. It's something. It's baseball. It's cool. If you've never been to the park,
Right.
it's a nice park. So I'll get some pictures, some snaps, whatever. You guys will feel like you're there.
Oh, Alex, I actually had one question I meant to ask you in the beginning of the show. Have you ever been confused on the street for Aaron Baines? Because you looked identical to Aaron Baines. Like
No.
when you applied, and I saw like your picture like on your Instagram, I was like, this is Aaron Baines. Like it's uncanny.
No, I usually don't have this big beard, but I'm growing it out obviously for the cup.
Love
And
it.
I will actually be at Game 5 with Bruins Warriors, so we will be doing content all day.
That dude just electric. Like
Wait,
in a
Bruins
awesome.
Warriors. That's gonna be a hell of a game.
Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna work out. KD, unreal hockey player.
On the move. He's checked. What the hell? Steph Curry's on
And
the ground.
like Dylan said, I'll be at the game Sunday, and I believe actually next Tuesday as well. So
Nice.
I will be providing MLB coverage for those Sox games. So
Yeah.
How many
me
season
and
tickets
Dylan-
do you get? How many tickets do you get for the season?
So
Oh.
I'm only in a 20 game package right now
Nice.
because I'm a full season for the Bruins. So,
Oh shit. Okay.
but me and my uncle are looking to go to a half season next year. So
There we go.
Nice.
And then me, Dylan, GRD, and Spiking going Monday. We might be doing a video. I'm not sure. I'm trying to talk with them about it. Who knows? But yeah, Dylan, any final thoughts before we wrap it up? I'm not sure if you already went. I totally forgot.
Well, we need a lock of the week from Adam.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, yes.
these things have been wide open. I'll tell you. I think we hit our first 2 or 3.
I don't
And
know.
we-
Yeah. And now it's pretty much not
Yeah. Now this is
nothing's
just the
been
key to
going.
open the lock.
Well, the problem is, guys, with the lock of the week, okay? Let me give you the problem.
We don't think about it for right now. Like,
Yeah, I don't think about it till right now, and I always try to make them optimistic. So it's always like, oh, Sox.
give me a pessimistic
rattle
one.
few-
I need a pessimistic lock of the week.
Okay, if I look at the Sox schedule, right, and I'm going to take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9.
8-game losing streak.
The Sox are going to lose, okay, 4 of the next 6 games.
What?
There we go. No, I'm
Kansas
fine with it.
City?
Everything's been opposite. We
No,
said,
I take that back. I take that back.
No, lean
The
into
Sox
it. Lean
are
into it.
gonna
7
lose.
out of the 6.
5
6.
of the next 7 games.
There it is. All right,
Wow,
5 of
lock
7.
of the
I'm
week.
fine with that. Can't wait till the Sox are 5 and
Sorry.
2.
Reverse the
Sorry.
curse.
Again, I want them to do well, Sox Nation. All right?
Yeah,
I want them
reverse
to
the curse.
do well. But damn.
All right, that's all. Thanks for listening. Brought to you by Ride the Wave Media. Check out 10100. Ride the Wave MLB, Ride the Wave, all that other sports. So yeah. What a sign off.